I cannot tell you how much fun I have doing this show. It's been more than 100 episodes since January of 2020. Here we are in February as I record this of 2021. And as I said, we've passed the century mark on episodes. We have had dozens of incredible guests, PR folks, marketing folks, influential leaders, thinkers, creative people. It's just been great. Of course, you've also had my virtual tips on how to do some aspects of PR and marketing and management. It's just been a blast. It's one of the things I really look forward to doing is PR After Hours here in our virtual lounge. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a listener. But I also want to offer you an opportunity. If you're a small brand or maybe it's just your personal brand and you'd like to reach our audience, I want to offer you that opportunity. Now, let me tell you a little bit more about PR After Hours first. As I mentioned, we have over 100 episodes in the can, as we say, and we got plenty more coming. We record 2 episodes a week. Typically, it's on a Tuesday. I feature an interview with somebody who's an expert in their field, which is generally, of course, related to business. Very rarely do we stray outside of marketing, PR, management, that kind of thing. We generally stay to our lane here with the show. Most interviews are 20 to 30 minutes, and most of my by myself are usually on Thursdays are around anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes. So that's the kind of episodes we have. So it's like I said, 2 episodes a week, one with just me and one usually with a guest. We are usually about 50 weeks a year. I take off maybe a week at Christmas and maybe a week in the summer, although now it's getting to the point where I can just schedule stuff and we're pretty much putting out new content 52 weeks a year, but let's just say 50 weeks a year. Now, I want to tell you a little bit also about the 91% of our audience is in the US of A, United States. Another 1% in United Arab Emirates. Hello to the UAE. Hello, hello, hello. Another 1% is in Canada. Hello to our friends in the north, our neighbors upstairs. Another 1% in the United Kingdom. And then you start getting into below 1%. So really, we're basically a United States-based show. Currently, the listening platforms breakdown that we do have seems to indicate that Apple Podcast is probably about 54% of our platforms. Overcast is 5%, Anchor about another 3%, and then Spotify 3%, and then 35% other. That's about as drilled down as we can get. On listening platforms, we have a breakdown here for you. About 60% are on iPhone, about 4% on Android, and then there's others who listen on other platforms, including, I would assume, on their desktop. So that's the devices. That gives you an idea there. Our gender, currently, the breakdown is about 78% male, 19% female, and the rest are non-specified or non-binary. Ages, interesting. We have a age group. We have solid ratings from ages from 18 all the way to 60 plus. I would say our sweet spot right now is 45 to 59, but we also have some good 60s numbers too. I would say probably our third best area is 23 to 27. So we've got some young people, we've got some older people, we've got some people who are around my age range in here. So that's a nice mix there. So that's a little bit of the demographic information about PR After Hours. And so here's the thing. We're obviously not going to be reaching millions and millions of people a year. I don't reveal exact numbers of downloads per month, but it's healthy and it's growing every month. It's been a steady growth. And in 1 year, we've had in the thousands on downloads, just to be clear. But our estimated audience goes up and down based on the recent episodes. Sometimes they're up, sometimes they're down. It just depends. Unique listeners is pretty healthy as well. What I want to tell you about, though, is if you want to reach people who listen to a show like this, and I happen to think it's a good, rich niche of people who want to know about PR, whether they're a PR person, they want to learn stuff or have affirmation about what they're doing, or marketing. I've heard from some small business owners in particular who want to hear tips and ways that they can improve their sales and improve their awareness and all those other things. So it's a nice niche of people. Are you going to reach Joe Rogan numbers if you advertise with us? No. But if you do sponsor the show, and that's, of course, what I'm getting to, folks, you can do a couple of things. One, you can help keep the virtual lounge going. You can help us. Selling T-shirts and mugs is nice, but it's not always going to pay all the bills. But, I mean, that's still fun. But the other thing, too, of course, is we do get advertisements. So we do run, as you probably know, every episode, an advertisement about Anchor, where we're based, and that pays a little bit of money every month. Now, we're not destitute, but we'd like very much to increase sponsorships and ad spend so we can advertise more and build this show up. I happen to think PR After Hours is going places, and I think it'd go places a lot faster if we could advertise more. That's where you come in. If you would like to sponsor this show, I'm going to offer you a couple of things here. Let's say you are a PR agency, or let's say that you're a brand that might sell to PR people or marketing people or business people. Maybe you sell services. Maybe you're a consultant. Maybe you've been a guest on the show and you want to make sure that those services get out in front of everybody every month. Well, here's what we'll do. We're offering monthly sponsorships. 1 month. That means you get on not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but you get on 8 episodes. Think about that. That's 2 a week, 2, 4, 6, 8, 4 weeks in a month. 1 month, you sponsor us. The episode will begin with, welcome to PR After Hours. This is sponsored by ABC Company. And then we'll do some point in the episode, we'll do a live read of 15 to 30 second spot. You provide it of what you want us to say about your company and your organization, right? So think about that. You get mentioned at the top of the show. You'll get mentioned somewhere in the show about your company with your live read. And we'll probably go ahead and throw in a mention at the very end of the show saying, again, Virtual Lounge was sponsored by blah, blah, blah. So there's that. So you get all those mentions. You're going to get 3 mentions in 8 different episodes in 1 month's time. Now, I'm not going to tell you how much it costs here because I think you ought to think about it and you ought to give me a call or email me and we can have a further discussion about that. But it's a 1 month commitment, or you can lock in as many months as you want. You just got to pay up front and we'll go from there. But I mean, just 1 month to see if it moves the needle on your marketing, your advertising with 8 episodes, 3 mentions per episode. And that's not all. There's one other thing you should think about too. You will also get listed in the show notes of every episode on prafterhours.com, which is a very nice looking website. And it's a place where all the links to the shows are located. So of course people go there to check out more information. So there's guaranteed visitors to the site. And what I'll do, I'll take your live read or a graphic that you supply. I can make you one for a little extra cost. I'll take that graphic, put that on there. This episode sponsored in part by, and we'll have your graphic, and then we'll put your live read content in there and a link, of course, back to wherever you want people to go for more information. So look at that. Wow. You're thinking, geez, okay, I'm going to get 3 mentions per episode, 8 times in 1 month. And I'm going to get every episode I mentioned on, I'm going to get my commercial and a graphic and a link back to my website on every show notes page for those episodes. Wow. Okay. So there's 8 different backlinks heading back to your website. Think about that. And there's more. I know you're freaking out. You're going, how is this happening, Alex? How can you do this, crazy Alex? Well, there's one more thing. I have a pretty healthy social media presence. If you combine my LinkedIn, my Twitter, my Facebook, it gets well over 10 or 12,000, maybe more. Every time we share anything about an episode for the month that you're an advertiser, we will always add that you were sponsored in part by, and we'll include your Twitter handle or a link that you specify. And we'll do that whenever we are promoting the episodes that you're the sponsor of. So think about that. Oh my gosh. So let's just be conservative and say we'll do another 20 to 25 social media posts on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Not each. We'll divide them up amongst there. And because I don't want to be obnoxious to people and constantly, tweet the same thing all the time. Point being, you are getting a pretty massive deal here. And I just want you to think about that. And if you're interested at all, and you want to get a price, you want to talk to me about investing not only in your business, but investing in keeping PR After Hours going and growing, which of course, as you know, as it grows, your messages get heard in perpetuity, because every episode you're on, it's not like I'm going to pull your advertisement out of the episode after that. Those advertisements sit there and people download those every month. And we have episodes that people have downloaded since last January of 2020 that they keep down, from then on, they keep downloading because they find them, or will occasionally retweet old episodes, or the people who are guests in those episodes retweet them. So it's the gift that keeps on giving. Again, we're not saying millions and millions of people are going to hear this spot, but ultimately thousands will. And I think it'd be a great thing, and I would be really honored if you'd consider that. So here's what we do. If you're interested in this, send me an email, alex@alexgpr.com, and just put in the subject line, sponsorship or sponsorship questions, or I want to sponsor you. That would be great. just give me a little blurb about who you are, what you do, what you're thinking, and a way to contact you. And we'll get on a Zoom call and we can discuss it. And we can find a price that works for both of us, I think. I'm pretty sure people are going to want to do this and have a good time with it and experience some growth on their own and feel good about supporting a show that supports the PR industry and marketing and small business. So again, Alex at alexgpr.com. And we'll take it from there. We'll get on a Zoom call or just a regular phone call if you're camera shy. And we'll talk about ways you can become part of the virtual lounge. And bonus, you're not going to have to bus any tables or anything like that.